What is going on, Wastelanders? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, here with my GTA 5 on PC first impressions. After a lot of issues trying to get this game installed and preloaded, I finally got it to run. And the first thing that I want to say about the game is that, look, it looks fantastic. Obviously, it's on PC, so everything's improved. For me personally, though, it took a bit of tweaking to get the game to run at 60 frames per second. And what I want to do is tell you the specs of my PC and then tell you the graphics settings that I have GTA 5 on PC running at, just so you guys can get a bit of feeling of benchmarking and what your game might look like if you decide to purchase GTA 5 on your PC. So just out of the way quickly, my PC has a GeForce GTX 760 with an Intel Core i7 CPU running at 3.4 GHz. It has 8 gigs of RAM. Obviously the resolution runs at 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz. Weird thing, GTA 5 doesn't have 60 Hz, it has 50 and 59, but that's just a side note. And I'm running Windows 8.1. So really quickly, those are my specs. On the screen right now, you can see what my settings for GTA 5 are, and the really cool thing that I like is it shows you how much memory you're using, and if you were to overload your game settings and go over the recommended memory, your game is probably not going to be reaching 60 FPS. And my PC is not the greatest in the world. If you want to run this game at 1080p, 60 frames per second, you're going to need a really good PC. And I'm not saying you're going to need a SLI setup, but at least to run the game at 1080p at 60 frames per second, you're probably going to need a GTX 980. If you want to run the game at 4K and 60 frames per second, you're definitely going to need a really good SLI setup. But right now, the game runs fine for me. So the settings that you can see on screen for me aren't necessarily maxed out or very high, but with that being said, the game still looks very good. The most notable thing to notice there is the fact that my textures are at normal and the settings go from normal to high to very high. So it might not seem like my PC is that good, but the fact is that once you go to high and then once you go to very high, it really does take a lot of demand on your PC. And I could do it, like for a while there, I was running everything at max and it was hitting 30 frames per second. So it just depends what you want. I prefer having that 60 FPS feeling as opposed to the 30 FPS and having everything look really nice at very high settings. That's just a personal preference for me, because when you're playing a game for that long, the very high texture quality and all of that, the shaders, the shadows, the grass, the water, etc., when all that's at very high, you start to lose focus of that. And I think when you play the game for hours upon end, it's the frames per second which really do matter. And if that's not at 60 FPS, I get really frustrated. Well, frustrated is probably not the right word, but I would prefer to have it at 60 FPS as opposed to 30 FPS. But what I will say is that even with my settings as they are now, and I can hit, most of the time I hit 60 FPS, there are frame drops on some occasions. Like for example, if you're in an indoors area and you walk outside, sometimes the frames will drop. Sometimes when you're driving and you turn really hard, the frames will drop. But other than those small occurrences, if you can tweak the game right to suit your PC, you shouldn't have too many frame drops. But other than that, Wastelanders, I just wanted to give you a really quick first impressions on the game itself and how it's running and what settings that I have my game at. And right now I haven't had any other issues with the game, to be honest. It was just mainly me tweaking to get the game right. I played the first mission to see how everything ran, and as I said, it runs perfectly. The biggest thing that I wanted to highlight is that if you don't have a really good PC with a GTX 980 or whatever, or an SLI setup, you're going to have to compromise something. Do you want to have your game at really good quality but at 30 FPS, or do you want to have it running at okay quality but you have that 60 FPS? What I will say is that whilst my texture quality is at normal, a lot of the other settings are at high. So my water quality, my tessellation, shaders, reflection quality, post effects, particles quality is at high as well. So again, the main thing for me to really try and hit that 60 FPS was the texture quality. I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't hit high at least, but I've made do, and to be honest, the game still looks great. So you're going to have to compromise, as I said, if your PC rig is similar to mine, or it's just not that top quality, or doesn't have a really recent graphics card like a 980, 970, etc. So anyways, Wastelanders, I hope this video gave you a good impression on what GTA 5 on PC is like. I would like to make some more videos, hopefully some mod videos once mods start to roll out. but I'll think of some more videos to do, perhaps just random updates, gameplays, etc. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see me to do. I'm probably going to have to come up with new video ideas in terms of covering GTA 5 content, but mods is definitely up there. Gameplays maybe, like doing some GTA Online or whatever, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, Wastelanders, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and as always, keep fighting the good fight.